So you say that we assess applications holistically. Can you explain to us what holistically means?
Yeah, it just really means that we consider all of those things that I've mentioned, and you know, if we did not assess things holistically, then it probably means that we'd throw away most of that information and just base our decision on, say, I don't know, the interviews, or just base our decision on the performance in the admissions assessment, and we'd just disregard everything else. But that's not what we do. You know, quite the opposite. We're constantly mindful of all of those sources of information, and we try and get as complete a picture as we can of that particular applicant, their social and educational circumstances while they're at school, how they've performed in relation to the various things we've asked them to do as part of the application process. And we're simply trying to work out, given all of those things, which applicants have the best ability and potential. And then we make our offers to the ones that we feel have the best ability and potential.
Nice. And I think I'm just going to try to really explain for viewers who aren't aware of like the Cambridge system, how this like looks on the ground. So when we say we assess applications holistically, that's not like a piece of AI software that takes in all the pieces of information, does like a simulation, and then outputs like a number and then says accept or reject or anything like that. And not only is it just like one individual, or like a few individuals across the university who are looking at all of the applications. So Cambridge is a university of 29 colleges. Each of those colleges not only has an admissions tutor like Marcus, so Marcus is our director of admissions for Trinity Hall, but also the directors of studies, who are the academics teaching their course in those colleges, are heavily involved with the admissions process. And then we also have the admissions officer, who is very much the head of all of the admin, all of the admissions, who also has like a huge role in helping, aiding the decisions, given that those individuals first and foremost are in touch with all of the information and then funnel the information through to director of admissions. So yeah, there's 29 colleges, and what's happening in each of the colleges, you have like the admissions tutor and the academics for each course, all talking through these applications very thoroughly. Each application's like viewed by several human beings and handled with like a lot of care and scrutiny. So, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think, would you agree that no application is, or every application is, there's a lot of thought that's gone into before reaching a decision?
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, it would be fabulous if we could do it all using some sort of AI system, because it means that I could take a holiday for most of December and January. But no one's ever figured out a way in which we could do that and then guarantee that we make good decisions. So if anyone listening has any suggestions, do get in touch with us. But no, as things stand at the moment, it's as Simon has summarised, it's a number of human beings who are very closely involved in the process, and the decisions as to who we make offers to are only made after really quite lengthy discussions that go on after we've accumulated all of that information that I summarised earlier. And often they're difficult discussions. It's not the case always that the people involved in assessing agree 100%. I mean, we might agree about the applicants who just seem by far the strongest in a given cohort, because that might just be so obvious that it doesn't need to be discussed for that long. And we might agree about the ones who comparatively are quite weak in a given cohort. So in the extremes, there might be a pretty much 100% consensus. But it tends to be a bit more in the middle, where someone has really impressed us in some respects, but maybe impressed us less in other respects. Should we make that person an offer or not? That's when people might view it slightly differently. And so, yeah, there were really long, interesting, but sometimes quite challenging conversations. But I think that sort of scrutiny is important. We're not doing this lightly. We're not doing this quickly and carelessly. We're doing this, I think, in a really sort of dedicated way. which, we're confident leads to better outcomes than if we just automated the whole process and did it through some kind of crude number crunching.